Over the years of lifting, I've tried different ways of organizing my training. I've done different variations of upper lower, experimented with different ways of programming my main lifts, and I've learned one thing. Almost every split can work. But the real question is, what split allows you to train hard, recover properly, and make consistent progress? For me, that's been the anterior-posterior split. I think this split is extremely underrated, especially for people who want to build muscle while also getting stronger on the main lifts. So what exactly is an anterior-posterior split? Instead of organizing your workouts as push-pull or legs, you organize them based on the front and back of your body. Your anterior days will focus on the front side or movements like the squat and bench press, and then your posterior days will focus on the back side or movements like the deadlift. The reason I like this setup so much is because it groups movements that work well together while separating the movements that create the most fatigue. The biggest reason I use this split is because it allows me to separate my squat and deadlift days. If you've ever tried doing heavy squats and heavy deadlifts in the same workout, you know how exhausting that can be. Both lifts require a ton of effort, and by the time you finish one, the other usually isn't performed at your best. Instead of having one massive lower body day where everything suffers, I split them apart. My squat and bench day let me focus on my squat without being destroyed from deadlifting, and then my deadlift day lets me put all my energy into pulling heavy and then training my back and posterior chain. Another huge benefit is that I can train the three main powerlifting movements more frequently. With this setup, I can squat twice per week, bench twice per week, and deadlift twice per week. But the important thing is that every session doesn't have to be max effort. One day can be heavier and focus on strength, and then the second day can be lighter and focus on technique, pauses, or volume. This lets me get way more practice with the lifts without constantly beating myself up every week. Here's the way I personally structure my week. Monday will be a squat and bench day, where they'll both have one top set and then two back off sets. Tuesday will be my deadlift day plus the back work, where I'll have one top set of heavy deadlifts and then one back off set. Wednesday will be my arm and hypertrophy day. Thursday will be another squat and bench day, except I'm focusing on volume, technique, and then working on the pause accessory work. Friday will be the deadlift technique day, where I'm not performing the conventional deadlift and instead I'll be performing a pause deadlift, an SLDL, or a Romanian deadlift, so I can still work on the movement without killing myself. Since my main goal isn't only to get stronger on the three main lifts, I also want to build muscle. Your arms already get trained from pressing, from rowing, and from pulling movements, but if you want to grow them as much as possible, direct volume helps. It also gives me a break between my heavier strength sessions, which helps me manage fatigue throughout the week, but by no means is this necessary, and you could just add a rest day instead. Now, is this the perfect split? No, there is no perfect split. Someone who only wants bodybuilding might prefer a different setup, and someone who only trains casually might not need this much structure. But if your goal is to get stronger on the squat, bench, and deadlift while still building an aesthetic physique, I think the anterior-posterior split is one of the best ways to organize your training. It allows you to train hard, recover better, and make progress consistently, and that's why I think it's one of the most underrated training splits out there.